The only Class 5 race of the day comes up as race number 3. It's over the 1,200 metres, headed by Adonis, who finds himself in Class 5 company for the first time. Natural Flair was third first up over the course and distance behind Rich City Fortune. Super Eurostar drops in class. He's 1 from 1 in this grade. Regency Honey dead heated on Wednesday night at Happy Valley. Hot Pepper 0 from 29. Rich City Fortune, of course, a course and distance winner on the opening day. And down to Reborn, who's first up here for Dennis Yip and Responsibly from Barrier 5. Now, as far as Chung Far is concerned, it is Reborn, who's been there for a freshen-up since the end of July. He returned mid-September, Brett.
He did, and he's trialled OK from Responsibly recently and hasn't been too far away from the pace. Back in this field, though, because there's a bit of tempo with Super Eurostar, who drops in class. Hot Pepper, you've got Regency Honey, who was forward on Wednesday night. Rich City Fortune is a front runner, a noted front runner, even though he did come from back of the field last start. We know Snow Hooves doesn't mind going forward either, so they should set a reasonable tempo, the Class 5ers.
Adonis looked really good last season in Class 4. His work's been good this season, and he's now into Class 5. He's come into Class 5 on the back of a fourth last start in Class 4, so he looks really well placed in this race. Natural Flair goes nicely. He's another one that's been recently downgraded. He's had one race in Class 5, and he went nicely as well. You can see Douglas White aboard for this piece of work, and he's travelling really nicely as Natural Flair. And Reborn, as you mentioned, Brett, he's improved. I think the trip up to Chung Far and back has done him the world of good, and I wouldn't be surprised if we win a bit of a race, Reborn, and Responsibly aboard for his gallop.
All right, 36 and 7.7 about him at the moment. We'll start off, though, with some winning form, and that's Rich City Fortune out wide as they swing into the straight. Natural Flair gets tightened up a little bit late, and Regency Honey we'll come back to again in a moment.
We will. Look, the horse I'm going to take out of this is Natural Flair, but credit to you, Andrew. You tipped Rich City Fortune here. I must admit, I thought he'd sort of lost the zest a little bit with John Moore, but change of stable sparked him up again mentally. It can often be the case, not necessarily from Moore to Ting. It happens with a lot of horses. Yeah. And he trialled well leading in. He
only had 107 pounds on his back as well, which is what steered me in his direction. But whether he can go back-to-back, Paul, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the key. I've got them both in on a minor line, because they're both, it's Class 5, but they're both running well. But can they put two together? That's the question.
I get the feeling Natural Flair's just been a real slow work in progress. I get the feeling he could eventually maybe even go into 4 and, you know, win in there, but he's taking a bit of time to get it all together. Yeah, and he's 10 pounds better off with Rich City Fortune on that meeting as well. Hot Pepper. He does pick up a check quite often. It's just not a winning check. Still 0 from 29, the record reads. Yep, 18 times out of 29 he's been in the first 4 without winning. So I'll leave him alone on a win line. I'm actually going to leave him out altogether. I'm going to shop elsewhere.
Yeah, I've left him out as well. I thought Glittering Armour didn't hit the line. He hit the line reasonably well on this, over 1,000, so the distance should suit him.
All right, I put him in Hot Pepper just on the minor spots, but it's very hard to tip him on top at the moment. Back to Regency Honey. This is Wednesday night, dead heating for first place with the show. It's a big run by the two of them.
Yeah, interesting backup. Now, he was an emergency here, so obviously the plan was to come to Sha Tin originally, I think, and he did come into the race. He ran and he did heat it. He went really well. Change of jockey now, Santa aboard. Can he put two together in a short period of time? I don't know if he can.
I left him out too, but horses often back up well. So this is the real short backup, Wednesday to Saturday.
Isn't it? Yeah. We'll find out. Alberto Santa, right. Good gate as well. Barrier 4. Reborn, we touched on him. We saw him in track work. Here's his trial as well, along with Glittering Armour.
Yeah, we saw Glittering Armour hit the line really strongly last time. As I mentioned, Reborn, I think he's an improved horse over the off-season. He's by Darcy Brum, and they do like the surface, the all-weather, so I wonder if he's a little bit flattered on this. But anyway, he's going well, and they're putting the tongue-tie on for the first time as well from a low barrier draw. I threw him in for 4th because I think he represents on some value here at 38 to 1.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to do with him. Look, he hasn't done a great deal on the racetrack so far. The trials have been better. But I've left him out. All right, OK. Rich City Fortune favourite. Seems like you're leaning to Adonis, though, Paul. Is he in for you?
Yeah, I've got him on top, actually. Adonis, I think he's really well placed in this race. He ran some huge races in Class 4. He's now down to Class 5, and he's had plenty of work to prepare him from Barrier 6. I think he looks like he's going to be really tough to beat in this. Natural Flair and Rich City Fortune come out of that race we saw. And as I've talked about, Reborn being the horse that has improved a bit. So 1, 2, 9 and 12. I did go exotics in the end, but I think 1's going to run a really big race.
Yeah, I've got him in the mix as well, Paul. I ended up putting him in for 4th Adonis, but I wouldn't be surprised if he won. I'm just going to keep following Natural Flair because I do feel that he's a horse that can progress into Class 4 at some stage. He looks like he's got some ability. It was a nice run first up. So him on top of Rich City Fortune, who looks a little bit revitalised with a change of stable. Super Eurostar's 1 for 1 in the class, and he'll roll forward. He's had 2 runs back now. Poon on. If he finds the front, he'll be hard to beat. And Adonis for the same reason as Paul mentioned. I'm going to tip Relentless Me in the last, and Adonis was a couple of lengths behind him the last time they ran.
All right, 2 and 9 are recurring numbers through all our numbers, but I'm with Super Eurostar. Each way price, he finds the front. He looked very good when he won in Class 5 previously. He goes on top for me.